All right, everybody, welcome to HGR on Tuesday night here from Talladega Super Speedway. The newly released Gen 4 cars on hand tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers can correspond with these. I know most of the time we run the truck series, and it's just going to be interesting to see.
Remember, I think it's going to be a top 5 payout,
How
but
this.
whatever it is, the first driver that finishes out the money, I'll give the entry fee back.
So right now, practice concluding. Only 6 drivers were posted a lap tonight. Of course, we'll pull some drivers in for some insight on how this car is doing. A lot of horsepower behind the wheel. So we get set for practice, or not practice, but qualifying. You see a Carl Evers throwback, that's Jackson Buys in the 99. Of course, this will be great for a lot of the drivers a lot of fans grew up on this car, myself included. Great to see the Gen 4s back out here. It's just going to be interesting to see how they'll handle in the draft. Seeing Miles Bagley, always a threat here at Talladega and Daytona. With a very interesting paint job, to say the least. Sean Corbett in the 45 on hand tonight. And man, these are some wild looking paint jobs. Like, honestly, I kind of dig them. William Rice in a Skull Bandit throwback. And that'll be, gosh, that's one of my favorite cars to throw back from the early 90s, late 80s. It's going to be great to see that car and get the victory lane. The fastest man in practice, Christopher E. Carter. Carl Lingle coming out onto the track as right now we're going to go back to, I believe it was Miles Bagley. Him or another one's going to post the first lap to beat here. Actually, it was Jackson Buys. The Buys to the apron. First lap will be the lap to beat. Pull up to 22, 99, 22, and Bagley goes top of the board. And oh my God! Buys up and over. That was real life. He probably going to the hospital. Sean Corbett's going to take his next swing at it. And Corbett will go top of the board. William Rice and the 6 of Christopher Carter. Rice, his first lap. Third quickest. Carter goes top of the board. See the one rolling out, Sterling Bruce. Carl Lingle. Him and a few others going to be posted a lap. Garrett Casewell, 4th quickest. Hunter Hastings on track. Same paint job to his teammate Bagley, I believe, or I'm assuming they're teammates. You see Hunter, his first lap. He's going to total the car and go 4th quickest. Here comes the one up to the high side. Richard Elliott in the 02 goes third quickest. Casey Sprinkles, no shocker to being at the front. He right now holds second. Richard Elliott goes P4. See Hernandez and Wynn go 12th and 13th. They just posted their laps. '32. Michael Menchaca. And he is actually posting his lap. We're going to come back to the one who is, I believe, now is finishing his qualifying run, and he is, and it will only be 12th quickest for Sterling. And with that, qualifying has concluded. A few drivers not able to post a qualifying time here. We wait, we'll see, of course, a few drivers in the Discord channel already. We're going to get Christopher Carter in here. Christopher Carter, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy? Try this one more time. Christopher Carter, Garrett Jenkins in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, buddy, congratulations on the pole for tonight. You're fast in practice, fastest in qualifying. What is your takes on how this car handles in the draft, and really what's your expectations from tonight?
I love this car in the draft. Kind of don't have a third lane, but no, overall it's a good car, and it makes for great racing.
All right, buddy. Anybody want to shout out or thank tonight?
Thank Jimmy Crow for throwing up these races, and James for helping him, and the broadcast.
All right, buddy, no problem. Christopher Carter rolls off from the front row. Good luck.
Thank you.
So you're here from the pole sitter. We'll go ahead and go through the starting grid for tonight at Talladega in the Gen 4s. Christopher Carter on pole. Casey Sprinkle, no surprise, starting second. Sean Corbett third. Richard Elliott fourth. Miles Bagley rolls off fifth. James Waring, Hunter Hastings, sixth and seventh. Garrett Casewell, William Rice, that is 9th and 10th. Jackson Byes and Carl Lingle, that will be 10th to 11th. Sterling this rolls off 12th. That is the top 12. We'll go on down to the last of the running order here. Marcos Hernandez and Michael Wingo, 13th and 14th. John Ward, Christian Martinez, one of the familiar faces for the Midnight Racing League, rolls off 16th. And Michael Menchaca rolls off 17th. Ambrose Nebel and William H. Scott Jr., 19th and 20th, and running out the field, Larry McDonald in the 20th position. I have that right. See if we can get one more quick interview here. Outside pole sitter. I can find him. Casey Sprinkles not appear to be in the Discord chat. Try to get Sean Corbett in here. Sean Corbett, Gary Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a quick copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, buddy, we're gonna make this fast because I believe y'all are already on the 1 to green.
Oh yeah.
You've had a little bit of experience with this car. How is it compared to the trucks? Is it more gnarly, or is it kind of easy to control with the draft?
It's all right. I think it's a heavier 87 with less power, in my opinion. but it's all right. I don't mind it.
All right, buddy. Well, I hate to cut you short, but I'm about to let you
Yeah.
get going here.
All right, man.
All right, good luck.
Hopefully, I'll talk to you later.
All right, Sean Corbett rolling off third. With that being said, pace car's in. This is the first time I've seen these Gen 4 in action on a draft track, and the first time I've seen them since they released, actually. With that being said, coming to the green flag, we're rolling from Talladega. Off of turn 4, Casey Sprinkle holds the lead down the front straightaway into the tri-oval. Sprinkle's trying to lead lap 1. And he will get it. However, James Waring trying to take the lead going into turn number 1 and 2. Waring on the outside getting pushed by Casewell. Down the back straightaway, you see the field not really organized as much, and one key difference I'm already seeing is how the outside lane, even with less cars, they're building more of a run to what you would normally see in the truck series. Coming back off of turn 4, James Waring leading. Casey Sprinkles fell back to third. Garrett Caswell between both of them. Outside lane, Sterling trying to pull the duo of Bagley and Hastings, actually. Lap 3 to push. Here comes the outside lane. Huge momentum. Of course, it stalls out about as quickly as it gets there. Sprinkles now trying to get back up to the lead. Waring holding it on the bottom. You see the majority of the field down to the bottom of the racetrack. The 5 below the apron. He's able to bring back up in line. Here goes Sprinkles with a big charge. Push from the 1 of Sterling. Sprinkles now out in front just a little bit outside or bottom lane, battling back here off of turn 4 to complete lap 3. Down the front straightaway. Through the travel. Will James Waring lead his second lap. He will get it barely. You see the outside lane, they give up a little bit on entry, which is a common thing we see in the truck series. You see, well, actually, they're giving up a lot here, but here comes the run. The 1 of Sterling this. Looks to the outside, blends back in. One car up there in the third lane trying to make something happen. Sprinkles drops down to the bottom. Leaves the 0-2 of Richard Elliott out to dry. Of course, James Waring loving what he's seeing. As you look at the back bumper of your leader. Here comes the outside lane, the 0-2 Richard Elliott with a big run. And Richard Elliott will lead his first laps of the night. And immediately drops down to the bottom, and now the 1 of Sterling will now trying to pull that outside lane. As he's trying to pull Hastings up with him right now, they do for the moment. The 18 of Marcos Hernandez has worked himself up third car on the outside lane. It's amazing the run that the outside lane can build compared to the truck. Compared to the trucks and next gens, you see the 92, John Ward starting in the back. He has worked himself up to now leading that outside lane. One car trying to make the third lane work, was not able to do it. Ward now trying to pull that outside lane. Right now, Sterling looks to lead his first laps tonight. And lap 5 will go to the driver to number 1. Hunter Hastings, normally we see him kind of reserving the, kind of one of them that's conservative conservative, trying to stay in the back until everything happens. Not tonight. Hastings already up there. Trying to battle it out. Here comes the outside lane with John Ward pulling the 5 of William Rice. The 6 of Christopher Carter, who started on pole and slipped back early. Trying to work himself back up there into the mix. Coming off of 4 now. Outside lane, not really trying to get that toe with John Ward. And of course, though, keep in mind that the big runs appear to be coming from the exit of 2 down that back straightaway. Of course, there's not a trioval to kind of help the bottom lane on the back straightaway. We're going to see here. You look now, here comes the run. You're riding on board with John Ward. The run not there this time as you look at Hunter Hastings pushing the 1 back out to the lead. You got to think a lot of give and take right now. Only coming to 8 laps into this event, nobody's really trying to make a 3-wide move. This early top 5 will get the payout tonight. But right now, the 1 of Sterling Dis leading his 3rd lap, or leading his 4th lap so far. Richard Elliott was able to lead 1 lap. James Waring led 2, and Casey Sprinkle, the outside pole sitter, only led 1 lap. Sprinkle running back here to 14th position. See, now he jumps up to the outside. Here comes Sprinkles with a big run, trying to make something happen on that 3rd lane. You look for the chopper cam. You can see, not really, nothing really going for it. Nobody tried to go with him. He did get about 3 spots out of the deal, but now running about 13th. Meanwhile, back out front, John Ward still trying to pull that outside lane back even with the 1. So far, not been able to do it. I say that. And Ward able to get even with the 1, but then, of course, on entry, they give it right back up to the bottom lane. Hastings moved up just a little bit, maybe a quick side draft. No harm, no foul. Coming off of turn 4 to complete lap 9. They got their good trioval. And Talladega with its unique. The one thing that does make this unique, other than being just over 2.5 miles long, the start-finish line right there, not in the trioval like they've done it, but more going into turn 1. See now the 5 lane off of the 92. Don't know if he's going to try to build a run and try to go around on the outside lane, or if he's just working up to give him a push. Meanwhile, Sprinkle's trying to make Casey back there. You see him starting to get a little impatient, but he woke something up because here comes the middle line now starting to form. Drivers in the back trying to come up to the front. The 6 left out to dry. That's Christopher Carter. And of course, what was a brief 3-wide. It was briefly a 3-wide line that's quickly faded out as the Carter stuck on the outside looking in. He'll be going at least behind Sprinkles here before he can win back the line. So 30 to go. Drivers might already start to become getting desperate. Biggest mover of the race so far, John Ward on that outside lane, up 12 spots. The 1 of Sterling, who led the last handful of laps, up 11. And Marcos Hernandez up 10 spots. Them are your 3 biggest movers from the start of this race. But it not take long for some drivers in the back to go ahead and work their way up to the front. Meanwhile, the driver in the 1, Sterling this will lead his 7th lap, working on 8th. The outside lane, desperately trying to get even. John Ward all John Ward wants to do is get clear and pull down to the bottom, and then he can control both lanes. But right now, well, here comes a big run down the back straightaway. Ward out just barely in front, and then the run will fade as quickly as it comes. Right now, you see Hunter Hastings inside line. Sterling now up to cover the bottom, or try to cover the top, excuse me. Tried to get there, wasn't not able to get there, but he does stall out the run momentarily. But here comes Ward back on the outside. Of course, you see two identical cars. Hunter Hastings, the other identical car, that of Miles Bagley in the 15. You're right on board with the 15 through the cockpit. You see exactly what he sees. There he is. Right behind Casey Sprinkles. Two identical cars tonight. Here comes the outside lane. Sprinkles trying to make it work again. He's pulling Bagley with him. Kind of disrupts that middle line. Get a 13 of Christian Martinez. Lost it for a second. As quick as it starts, again, the third lane falls out. Martinez stuck on the outside. One car jumps up with him. Well, that's the 32 back there. It is. Right now, though, Casey Sprinkles, that bold move to trying to make that third lane work has benefited greatly. Sprinkles back up in the mix, second car in the outside lane, trying to push Ward down. He also brought Miles Bagley up with him from deep in the pack. And John Ward got that lap. So Ward has led his first lap of the night, and look at the push from Sprinkles to Ward. Ward's bottom lane battling back here, trying to stay side by side and try to regain the lane control. Sprinkles down to the bottom. Oh, easy, boys. 26 to go. Sprinkles makes it 3 wide, leaves Ward up to dry in the third lane. The 13 of Martinez able to blend back with him. Casey Sprinkles, Miles Bagley back out front. Good a risky move. With 26 to go. And look at the gap that it's created. Of course, you see Miles all over the back of Sprinkles. 25 to go here. Down the back straightaway, remaining single file for the most part. 32. Hung out to dry just for a little bit. That was Menchaca. The hill will blend back in line. You see now the single file of another driver out to dry way in the back. And green flag pit stops. You see at the bottom of the screen, new drivers are in. Ward, Casewell, Hernandez, to name a few. Several drivers black flag to 7, Garrett Casewell, black flag. William Rice, black flag. Ambrose Nabel, black flag. One can presume too fast entering. That being said, 3 drivers already tonight just got a lot tougher. Here comes the rest of the leaders. Oh, almost contact. One in the grass, one takes out the cone. And this is a cluster mess coming into pit road. And all these drivers, Miles Bagley, Hunter Hastings, Jackson Bice, Richard Elliott, Christian Martinez, Sean Corbett, Michael Wingo, Michael Menchaca, all black flags, too fast entering. What in the name of Mike? And a lot of the front runners already done right now. John Ward and Carl Lingle, the only two out of the first group to come in, were the only ones who did not get a black flag, but at least 10 cars caught speeding on pit road, and this changes everything. With 23 to go. And right now, technically, Ward and Lingle coming fast, but right now, Casey Sprinkle and Christian Carter, they are your front two. Well, Ward and Meek and Lingle now overtake Carter. Casey Sprinkle pushing a lap car. So this really spreads out the field. As the next biggest pack, you see Christian Martinez coming out. All these drivers were ones that just got the black flag from that larger group. So what a dramatic turn of events to start. Well, not to really start, but coming down to the closing laps. And right now, it appears to be Casey Sprinkles to lose. John Ward and Carl Lingle, second and third, 6 seconds behind Sprinkles. And then you got William H. Scott and Marcos Hernandez holds the last payout spot. And of course you see them, they are catching the top two, or second and third. So they can get forward up into a pack and ride single file. They can catch the 59 of Sprinkles. But they need to do it fast with 21 to go. And they can lay back and get Carter. That will be even better. So after green flag, 10 stops, about 10 drivers busted speeding. That's why the field is so spread out like they are. Of course, the biggest pack so far, James Waring running 8th. They're actually behind him. Being led by Martinez. Then you got Hastings, Buys, Bagley, Elliott, and Corbett. Well, actually, no, Sean Corbett's running back there with, I believe that's Garrett Casewell. No, it's not. It's 32. Michael Menchaca, who is one down, along with the 5 of William Rice. Right now, Sprinkles pretty much is right behind the 04. Last week was chaotic, to say the least. About just over 25 cars, 26, 27. A much different race this week with only 19. So right here you see second, third, fourth, and fifth trying to run down the 59 of Casey Sprinkles with 19 laps to go. We're going to try to see. So Sprinkles was actually 1.2 seconds faster that last lap. Of course, we'll get a better, we'll get a more accurate one in this next lap. I see massive lap traffic for the 59 to try to work through. But this will benefit him because this is a caution's out on the speedway. Trying to find who it is. I'm not seeing nothing, so nobody appears to be around, nobody with damage. try to figure out what the caution's for. James Waring, is that damage to the front of that car? It is, so something's happened with Waring. We'll see if anything got noticeable. Ah, here we go, here we go. Oh. Okay, well, let's see what happens here. Maybe fast forward a little bit more. Alright, so he is getting past here. Oh, is that the one of them identical that looks like Bagley? Not sure what the deal was there, Miles. If it is, see if we can't get an identification on that other car. It is Bagley. So not sure what happened there. Between them two, it looks more like a misjudge on Bagley's part. That's hard to say. Coming through the tri-oval here. You see a couple cars just coming down, and maybe he's just trying to follow in line. Maybe doesn't hear the spotter, but definitely comes down on the 13. And that will give every one of these drivers, as you see several drivers on pit road, Sean Corbett, Bagley, Waring, Wingle, Nabel, Scott Jr., all of them in the pits. And this will give all these drivers who's got a black flag to start this race. This caution will benefit them greatly. You see right now, Michael Menchaca, he will be trying, he should be the free pass recipient, or at least be able to take a wave around. James Ware and Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you. What's up?
Well, buddy, a little bit of a tough race for a few drivers on pit road, and then take us through your side of what happened coming through the tri-oval.
I just got doored right into the infield. There's no explanation for it. That was just a bad move on Miles' part. But, you know, I was going to have to use my fast repair anyways for the damage I got on pit road earlier. So it worked out.
Yeah.
I was able to catch up, stay on the lead lap. So I'm getting topped off. I got new tires. We good to go.
And I want to ask you, about 10 drivers busted on pit road during the green flag pit stops. Is there a difference in the brakes compared to some of the more the trucks that we run, or do you know what?
Well,
could be
these
the
brakes,
cause?
no matter how hard you push, they will not lock up. And I don't know what happened back there, or because I was coming in perfect, and they just all locked up right in front of me. And that's where I ended up getting 4 minutes of damage.
Well, buddy, I'm going to let you go here, as I believe we just got the one to green here. Best of luck to you. Hope to talk to you.
Thank you,
at the
sir.
thing. And you were in the race chatter, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So James Waring already had to use his fast repair, so he will be treading lightly, as has the 18 of Marcus Hernandez. He has used his. So, and then the one of Sterling This, who led 9 laps during this race. Him and Sprinkles are tied with most laps led tonight. So about 3 drivers needing to play it careful tonight. You see Garrett Casewell returning to the pits, I'm assuming to fix some damage. The 32 of Michael Menchaca, he was able to get, well, we're presuming he's able to get his lap back. I ain't gonna say it till I see it officially. And no, he is not allowed to do it. So either he was already 2 laps down, or either already 2 down, or we ain't doing wave rounds in this race tonight. Leading more towards the 2 laps down here. Meanwhile, bottom lane not organized or caught up here. Don't know if race control is going to let that fly or not. But we're coming to the green flag. Marcos Hernandez, Casey Sprinkles leading them down. Hunter Hastings, John Ward, all drivers that were at the front now back in it. 15 to go. A great stop by the 18 of Marcos. The outside lane a little bit reversed now. John Ward, he's now pushing Casey Sprinkles. We're going to see how well that works. Hunter Hastings on the bottom, pushing Hernandez out. Able to clear both lanes for the moment. Sprinkles, though, right back on the outside lane. We'll go to the chopper camera. Well, that's not chopper camera. Look at how run the Sprinkles get. A great push from the 92 to the back of the 59, side by side, in the middle of 3 and 4. And one driver out of line, Miles Bagley, black flag. Unsure what it is, but it will be the end of the night unless there's another caution from the driver with 15. Sprinkles now holding the bottom, holding Hernandez back at bay. Ward and Sterling up top, trying to make something happen with the 13, Christian Martinez. Get a 6. Christian Carter started on pole. Have not heard nothing out of him since then all day. Maybe trying to work himself up into the position. As look at the run the outside lane got going into 3. Yeah, but Sprinkles fighting back on the bottom lane. And Ward saw it coming, able to drop down and cover it. John Ward out front, trying to lead his second lap. You see the 13 of Martinez trying to push the one to Sterling, this to the front of the pack, side by side at the start finish line. Give it to John Ward. 13 to go for Talladega, and you look up there at the top. Just talked about him. James Waring in the 17 or the 13, and I'm seeing 2 different numbers. On the outside lane, trying to make something happen. There's Garrett Casewell pushing him. The 32 jumps up, big. Have a big block, but now you see a few drivers dropping 3 wide. Tacewell might get shut out. They're pretty tight. Hastings knows the 5 that gets shut out. But the intensity starting to pick up. 12 to go this time by. Everybody's getting tired of waiting. They're tired of riding. See the 99 way up the track. He's actually going to jump in front of Hastings. See, that's Jackson Buys in the 99. Oh, the wrecking big corner. Sprinkles hard. Christian Carter, Sterling's this. The 32, massive damage. One car up in the air. I believe that was Armstrong. Good God almighty. All right, let's go ahead and go look at this because good Lord, what a ride for whoever went up into the catch fence. That was hard to say, it was a bad block on the 6. And look at Hernandez and Menchaca both hard into the outside wall, and it ain't just them. So it happens up here with the 6. See if we can't see what happens here. So we're going to set this up coming down into turn number 1. See, the run's there. Net code for what looks like it's spraying, but that just completely clogs the out or the bottom lane, and from there it is on. See if we can't get an onboard shot with the 18 through all this. right, let's ride on board and hang on tight, folks. Good God Almighty. That was violent. See if we can't get one more camera angle here. We'll see what Casey Sprinkle saw. Right on board the nose of the number 59 through this. They'll do a 360, get slapped around a couple times and keep on going. That being said, several drivers now have to take a fast repair, and it puts Christian Martinez at the front with Richard Elliott. In second, John Ward able to escape that mess. Good Lord. There's the big one with about 12 to go. Now drivers who have used their fast repair: James Waring, Casey Sprinkles, Michael Wingo, Marcos Nabel, Christopher Carter. A lot of drivers now with 10 to go. One more wreck can end it all. A couple of drivers in the pits. Marcos Hernandez, one of them. The 32 of Michael Menchaca. Of course, he was one lap down when that wreck happened. So with this wreck, it brings in a lot of drivers who started in the back. And your leader, Christian Martinez, up 15 spots from where he started. John Ward up 12. Ward's been up there in contention most of the night. Richard Elliott was up there for a little bit and then he fell back. Right now, the driver who has lost the most positions since the start, Christopher Carter, down 13, running in the 14th position as one car comes off the apron, and I think he's trying to get caught up. So right now, coming to the 1 to green, going to be 8 laps to go this time. Go ahead, grab the popcorn, grab the beer, the whiskey, kids, grab the sodas. Go ahead and ratchet strap the TV down, because this is going to be an intense 8 laps. No holds barred. You'll take whatever pushes give to you. And I got a feeling this is not the last big one we'll see tonight. Of course, last week, intense, 26 cars, caution field. It's been kind of calm tonight up into the last 20 laps. We're rolling. Martinez and Elliott leads them down. They're Great start by the bottom lane. Ward all over the back of the 13. Look down off of turn number 2, bottom lane, not able to really, outside lane, not able to really build up the run. Here it comes though, side by side, down the back straightaway. Richard Elliott with a push from James Waring. Jackson Buys up 7 spots with a chance to win it. Richard Elliott down to cover the bottom lane. That will pull Waring up to the front of this field momentarily. The push from Buys to the back of the 13. James Waring led 2 laps earlier. Now he is not just in his third. Up and down night for the driver, the 13 to 17. Whatever it's calling, I'm getting a Discord call. Down the back straightaway. Let me take care of something real quick. Real fast for his last 10 laps. I believe Carson will have to be going in. While we wait for him, he's going in for these final few laps. Six to go. Meanwhile, Richard Elliott trying to hold the outside lane. Strowman Martinez, the bottom lane, trying to battle back. All right, laps to go for Talladega. Look at Bagley and Hastings now. Three wide action now. Hastings and Bagley trying to pull this one of Sterling up through the back of the field with them. Casey Sprinkle just involved in a incident a few laps ago. He'll get covered up by Martinez. Casey said no, sir. Taking it 3 wide. He's going to have a big run from the 4 cars to the outside lane. Oh, the O2 gets turned. 45 around. Significant damage, no caution. So we keep it green, but Sean Corbett's day is done. 4 to go, Sprinkles out in front. Jackson Buys moves up in the second. Garrett Casewell in the middle. Caution is out. The Wrecking Big, the one, I see him up in there. That's the 04 Ambrose Nabel, and there's the one of Sterling This, who has had a great run tonight, but it will come up as probably not going to be able to get the job done. That being said, we're going to see what happened. Well, actually, let's take it back first off and see what happened with Sean Corbett here. Bad push from the 17 to the 13, and then the 45 gets slammed. bad pushes here. Now we'll go see what happens to the driver to 1. So Garrett gets stuck in the middle up there. Not sure what happens here. He comes down across the 13. Miraculously, nobody else hits him. So that being said, Casey Sprinkles was able to be in the lead at the moment of caution. And this is the first of 3 green-white checkers for tonight. So with that being said, we're under caution here for the 3rd time tonight. 3rd or 4th at least. Casey Sprinkles obviously in the lead. Hunter Hastings in 3rd. You see Jackson Buys in 2nd. Carl Weber's number 99 off his depot car. John Ward is at a bad fast car tonight. I'm just not saying that because it's on the side of the car. Somebody we ain't really talked about all night, Christopher E. Carter, up to 6th after starting on pole, and has been a up and down night, mainly running in the back. Don't know that was by choice or what the deal was there, but he has found himself up at the front. Let's see if we can find anybody to talk to real quick here. We ain't talking to Carl. We'll talk to cousin Carl later. Carl Lingle, Garrett Jenkins in the booth. You got a copy?
Sir.
Well, buddy, it's turning into one of them crazy races. Do you got? I know you're starting back there in about 12th position. Is there anything you do to get to the front tonight?
Well, let's see. I'll just have to throw it up on the dash and see what happens.
Well, buddy, how? Of course, we've seen tonight that really, it kind of doesn't matter from what I've seen about what car has the most lanes, as long as you're able to get a good push. How dependent are these cars on with the draft in order to build a run?
You definitely need the help from behind. If you don't, it kind of seems like it stalls out a little bit at times.
Yeah, we've seen that, particularly going down the back straightaway, where it seems like the outside lane gets a great run down the back straightaway, but then they give it up on entry. Is that a product of just the car stalling out, or is that about as much as the drivers can push before they feel like they need to get off the back bumper?
A lot of it has to do with the air, even too, because when you get somebody side drafting it, you can really feel it in these cars.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. Got a little bit of work cut out for you, but we hope to talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. You're in the Donators Club, right?
Yep.
All right. Carl Lingle sitting back there in about the 10th position. 10th or 11th, 1 to 2. So this is the first of 3 attempts at a green-white checker. Casey Sprinkles, Jackson Buys. the front row. Miles Bagley, John Ward, 3rd and 4th. Hunter Hastings will round out the top 5. We're racing, we're rolling. About as good a start from the outside lane as you can hope. Jackson Buys out front. For the moment, Sprinkles fight back on the bottom. If they can make it back to the start and finish line, then it does not matter what happens afterwards. Look at that outside lane. Buys with a great run. Here comes Ward. Here comes Martinez and wins. 3rd lane trying to make something happen with the one of Sterling. Meanwhile, look at the push that Ward's able to give Buys. Here comes the bottom lane. Sprinkles, Bagley, Hastings, the 04. That's Ambrose DeBell. Here comes the bottom lane. For the moment, white flag. Whatever happens now happens. It will not change the outcome. No caution will be thrown. Jackson Buys getting a great push from Ward. Then to turn number 1, you see the Bagley all over the back of Sprinkles. Down the back straightaway, Sprinkles with a slight edge. Towards the outside lane with a great run. Will Buys go down and try to cover the bottom lane? No, he does not. He's staying right there, outside lane, with probably the best run they've had all night through the entire set of corners. Here comes Ward to the bottom. John Ward to the bottom. Martinez looking outside, trying to go 3 wide through the tray over. Oh, to wreck it big. Wreck it big at the line. Christian Martinez wins it at Talladega. Good God Almighty. Multiple drivers upside down. Hunter Hastings, the car's destroyed. Good gosh, too mighty. Sean Corbett was upside down. Krista Martinez, your winner tonight. Good gosh. Well, let's just go ahead and relook at that whole wreck while we wait for Martinez to get in here. The 3 wide move. The bad bump from the 13 to trigger that, and of course doesn't matter to Christian Martinez. They can all wreck at this point. So we'll actually get a look at this as we're actually going to go with the, if I can find his car number. Jackson Buys, he's really going to give us a great look at this wreck. George Jackson stuck in the middle. Bad push. And yeah, just ran over. And everybody, oh my God, Hastings upside down to 45. Second time he's been upside down tonight. I mean, so well, we're going to try to get some drivers in here for interviews. Christian Martinez, Garrett Jenkins, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Well, buddy, well, honestly, you were out just enough to where that wreck behind you didn't really have no effect on you. Tell me about tonight, because you were in the back for the first half of it, then started working your way up to the front. What did it take to position yourself for the win here tonight?
Yeah, man, you just got to race really smart in these races. I mean, this kind of strategy that I take, you got to start in the back, try to avoid the wrecks, and slowly work yourself up there, especially with any green flag pit stops. I think that's the key to these races.
Well, buddy, I mean, obviously it was going a lot of key differences here with these cars compared to the trucks that would normally run. What stands out to you as far as the difference between the two, and how do you think that affected some of the racing at the end?
the side drafts definitely are a huge difference, but I also think the way you can't slam draft as much, and James Warren slam drafted a couple of people, and that's what knocked us loose. I think through travel, and then if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the one that got into the middle line there, coming through travel on that final lap. You just can't slam draft like that, and in the truck you can slam draft. So it's different. It's a neat car though, for sure.
Well, buddy, my last two questions for you tonight. One, is there anybody you want to shout out to? Sponsors, family, friends, etc.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody that watched. I appreciate you doing a hell of a job with the broadcasts here at HGR and over at the Midnight League. I want to shout out McCullough Motorsports, Kenny and them. They're all great. I love those guys over there. And yeah, that's about it, bro.
All right, buddy. Then my last question. I wasn't able to look. I'm actually about to look real quick here. $60 going to you tonight. Are there any plans to do with it?
Register for the next race.
All right, buddy. Congratulations again on a smart race. Led 6 laps tonight. Christian Martinez, your winner. Appreciate it, buddy.
Good pick. Thank you.
Yep. That being said, we're going to give a couple more drivers a chance to get interviewed. We will throw in the competition director, Jimmy Crow. We'll get him in here while we wait on some drivers. Jimmy Crow, Garrett Jenkins here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Well, buddy, I'm doing good. It was a great showing tonight. Is there a possibility that we'll be rerunning these cars in the future?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. They
Go ahead.
they are the most stable cars right now, in my opinion. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I really like the car. I like how they push. But like I say, right now it's the most stable car out there, and that's a good thing. When you're hosting, you want a stable vehicle because that helps a lot. We had a driver awareness yellow that got the whole yellow flood going. That's why I harp and preach about those driver awareness yellows. Them driver awareness yellows do more harm than good. Other than that, we got green flag pit stops. I've noticed guys are struggling with pitting because I guess a lot of the money racing community outside HGR, you don't get very many green flag pit stops, and so they're not used to having a green flag pit stop. 98% of the races we have, so they need a little practice on that. It could have been better. That finish was ugly. Just looked like 17 was going to give a hard push, trying to get the driver the win. That caused him to get into the 92. Wasn't nothing malicious or nothing, just trying to get the driver the win. But yeah, I hate finishes like that. Ugly last lap finish, turns a really good race into into really not good at all. I wasn't pleased with the finish, but overall good race. This is a learning series. People's getting better, so it was a really good race. Other than that, man.
All right, Jimmy, and of course, here at Raging Idiot Racing Network, we thank you for allowing us to put on these races for you. And it's been a great showing. I mean, last week, of course, the intensity up in the air as far, but tonight it seemed like to be more stable. And is there just anybody you want to thank tonight? Family, friends, sponsors, etc.
You for broadcasting, the drivers coming out. We had 3 cautions. Tonight, but hell, that's 9 cautions in 6 races. In 2 of the races, we had 3 cautions. The other ones, that's 3 races we've had 3 cautions out of 6, so that ain't too bad. And the other 2 were caution free, so we're doing good. We're not having stupid lane changing yellows. Guys are being precise with their lane changes. They're just, there's a lot of accountability and a standard here. So that's pretty much it. We'll do better than we did this race, the next one. But yeah, I'm real pleased, and I thank you and all the drivers.
All right, Jimmy, we thank you. It was a great race tonight. We look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Oh yes, sir. Appreciate you. I gotta deal with the after race and upset folks, but that just comes with the territory. But yeah, appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna hop out of here.
All right, buddy. So that was with Jimmy Crow. We're being joined now by the third place driver, Casey or Garrett Casewell. Buddy, how you doing tonight?
I'm alright. Definitely wouldn't have imagined that I would be finishing P3.
And walking up with a little bit of money.
Yeah, a little bit. But a good bit of it goes back to Jimmy, but just happy to actually be back in the pot. It's been a good bit.
Well, buddy, fun fact, just the Garrett and Garrett show for a moment. So with that being said, just take me through the night. You're kind of quiet until the last 3/4 of the race. Just take me through your night. Was there anything you think you could have done different in trying to position yourself, or was it pretty much just the hand you were dealt?
I don't know. It wasn't a bad night. We had some good races. Shot myself in the foot on the pit. They told me the brakes were good. They were not. Had my foot down to the floor on the brakes, and it was rough. Got caught speeding on pit road. Got a second shot. Got a second chance there. Didn't really appreciate the second chance that much because kept making stupid mistakes, get me sucked back. But yeah, one of those being just helping people.
Yeah.
I had a good group of guys around me which we're running with. That was nice. Definitely helped. John Ward, William Rice, and all of them. James Waring. But yeah, I kind of raced too kindly. I'm not really trying to make friends out here. I'm trying to win money, and I just was racing like I was trying to make friends out there tonight. But got a second chance. I guess someone just thought it was a good idea to just. I don't know who. I haven't really gone back and looked at it, but someone killed the whole field, and I saw a gap and stayed in it, and got turned around. I'm pretty sure Hunter Hastings finished on my roof, and I finished backwards across the line, but that's money still.
Yeah, $45 to be precise, Tom. But I won't keep you very long here. I know you're anxious to get on back, look at the end of the race and all that. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Sponsors, friends, family, just anybody in general?
Jimmy Crow, he sponsored me into this race. I think I got a 50-50 deal going with him. GTCR Motorsports, great group of guys there. T&J Bar and Grill, Mad Charity. My grandparents back home watching, just the whole family. And especially guys who was running with me. John Ward, James Waring, William Rice, Christopher Carter. All those guys definitely probably deserved it more than I did. But luck's a pretty big part of super speedway racing, and I just kind of got the good side of it while they didn't tonight.
Yes, sir, you did, buddy. Congratulations on your third place finish. And we look forward to seeing you in the future, buddy.
Yep.
All right, Garrett Casewell comes home third tonight. And I don't appear to have anybody wanting an interview. So with that being said, we're going to go straight to the race results brought to you by HGR. At the end of it, Christian Martinez was able to come home and be able to secure the win tonight. Hunter Hastings second, Garrett Casewell third, Ambrose Nabel in fourth. Richard Elliott rounds out the top five. And then we're all the money-paying positions. Sterling East, after a great run tonight, it will be just outside of the paying window, but led 9 laps. Jackson Buys, Carl Lingle, Sean Corbett, Michael Wingo. That is the remaining top 10. James Waring in 11th. William H. Scott Jr. in 12th. John Ward comes home 13th. Casey Sprinkles leads the most laps of tonight at 15, but will have to settle for a 14th place finish. And then the fastest man in practice and qualifying, but it does not go his way. Christopher Carter rounds out in 15th. William Rice, Miles Bagley, 16th and 17th. Marco Hernandez, after what was a great run towards the end, will fall short. He will come home in the 18th position. And then down at the bottom, Miles Menchaca in 19th. So that being said, it was a crazy race, wild race. Still to come this week as far as projected Inspired Racing League. Saturday night from Fuji. Then the Midnight Racing League Super Speedway Series concluded with Shane Horn winning the championship over Justin Miller car. You can catch the action from that series live on PGR on Friday nights at around 11:30 to midnight. So that being said, and then everybody tune in next Monday to Daytona for the Inspired Racing League Cup Series. 5 drivers will walk into Daytona wanting a shot into the playoffs. Only 2 will get it. So a lot of action to come for this week and next week. Until then, I'm Garrett Jenkins. This has been the Raging Idiot Racing Network. We will see you Saturday unless there's another HGR event. Appreciate it.